when they are taxed B&O tax, and they pass it on to the municipal fee at the bottom of the bill. You end up paying that 2%. That's why that's not as palpable to the city council as the user fee. The user service fee is the only other way. And is it popular? No, it's not popular at all. It's not popular for a lot of reasons in my mind. It's the fact is just what you were getting ready to say. You make a much lower wage, and you'll be paying $3 just like somebody that makes, like a doctor paying or making $200,000 a year. The problem is by law, this is all we're limited to by legislation. And I'll be more than happy to have the backing of the citizens talking to the state senators and delegates about the tax structure and what cities are allowed to do. But right now, this is it. This is it by law. This is it. This is all council is allowed to do. And until something changes in Charleston, that will be the alternative.
I don't think I either, Mike. I got one question, and I want to have a request for you to read a letter from the city of Huntington.
Okay.
I just want you to read paragraph 1, and I think it'll clear a lot of things up here, Mike. You say the cities are hurting a lot of money. You know, everybody's down and out. The economy's hurting everybody. I'm not going to ask you to take a pay cut because we're like everybody else. We're underfed, overworked, and underpaid. But why can't the city fund the police cruisers? Look at the money you could save. One police cruiser, I did this approximately, he spends $1,320 a year in gas and oil just going from his home, mineral wells, back to the city department. Could we save that just to tell them to park and use their own drives? And then, request, I want you to read this paragraph. I do work in the city of Huntington. I want you to read that, please.
Required glasses. Required glasses. All right. October 1st, 2010, the city service fee of $3 per week will be replaced with municipal occupation tax of 1% gross wages. Actually, I can stop there and tell you why. The city of Huntington is a pilot program city. They're allowed to do it and we're not. And here's the problem with being a pilot program city. They'll be allowed to do a lot of things. We could have been a pilot city. We could have done away with B&O and done some other thing until 2013. And at that time, legislators voted on the home rule. Every legislator I've talked to said they're against home rule. So what they're doing, the same thing we would have done, we would change the structure to the tax structure and maybe reduce B&O, maybe did away with B&O tax. And in 2013, we'd have to go back to everybody and say, sorry, folks, the legislature's not going to allow us to do this now. And now we have to go back to the business occupation tax. I know you were used to something else. But yes, they are in the middle of doing something. They actually haven't, I don't think they've actually completed this yet. I think it got tabled and there's some legal issue with it. But that's why they do things. Now, getting back to the police cars, let me talk about that for just a second. Yeah, the police program has been a bone of contention since 1984 when it was enacted. City of Parkersburg was one of 12 cities in the United States that had a police program that modeled after Lexington Metro, Lexington, Kentucky Metro, and it was done for a couple of reasons. Having been a policeman before that time and after, one of the biggest issues facing the city at the time is, of course, they jumped out and with it wasn't CD money back then, it was called something else from the federal government. Revenue sharing, thank you. They bought 44 brand new cars in 1984. They started distributing these cars as a fleet program. And the means of reducing crime. There's a lot of good intentions behind it. The bottom line is we ended up with them. Before that, we were buying 5, 6, 7 cars each and every year. And the reason being is because they were being ran 24 hours a day, at least 16 hours, sometimes 24 hours a day. Having been a policeman before the fleet program, I can remember getting in those cars, and by the time they had 60,000 miles on them, they were absolute junk. They were costing a fortune of transmissions and all those type of things. The big draw of the fleet program at the time, and still is maintenance is much less because and the cars last so much longer. We can get by with buying 5, 6 cars every couple of years. Sometimes we can get doubled up, sometimes we don't. For the most part, we get by with buying that amount of cars or even less every couple of years instead of every single year we do on a lease purchase plan, because we can drag that payment over a long period of time. Whether it's good or bad, we can argue that all night, but the problem is is the fleet program's here to stay. Now, I don't know if we do 60 cars, number one. But more importantly, here a while back, I did have parked cars.